Good morning, everyone, and warm welcome from my side as well. For the last 2-3 months, we've been talking about Mahakumbh Mela and many other religious events, And some problems have happened in certain places. I'll not go into the numbers. And I'll talk about the subject which is directly, indirectly related to security as well, which is crowd management, It could be because of many reasons. A, that our police to public ratio is very low. 156 policemen on an average to 1 lakh people, whereas in developed countries, it could be up to 700 police personnel for 100,000 people, I told Anuragji that I like to be associated, continue to be associated with security, as I have a full-time assignment as a professor with BITS Pilani, And Shilpa had told me that you need to speak on a diversity in security industry. I said I'll not be able to speak on diversity on industry, but I can speak about myself that I have worked in diverse industries, Various events have taken place, and I will only talk about the government figures, not of the what we see the numbers on the YouTube, how many people have died, Internationally, there are 4, 5, 6 companies in which G4S does appear as the crowd management company, if you Google it, And I would say that I have been privileged, Rajiv Sharma ji is here, to work with G4S. Even Securitas does appear. And the third company where Kumar Vikram Singh ji gave me the opportunity to work for, CSC, which has been involved in all the Olympics for the last 20 years, So there can be a one vertical, which even I mentioned in my last discussion as well, that we can talk about the crowd management. If not in India, where else you will talk about crowd management? Because we have so much of population and so much of religions, and we are very sentimental in terms of anything can spark. Police can do crowd control, but in terms of crowd management, at least I would say the private companies can do a lot. Even as on today, it's my belief, if we approach some of the governments where these incidents have happened, it is not to say that the government officials are not doing a good job, which I have admitted in Wall Street Journal, New York Times, when they interviewed me on a crowd management. I said that from the previous Kumbh Melas, this time, a lot of efforts and a lot of preparation has been made, But anything can be improved upon, To say we are such a large country, so many 40 crore people have come, 50 crore people, and such incidents does take place is a one statement. But if we have that kind of a approach, then we will never be able to improve, There are possibilities, there are ways of doing things, and therefore there are crowd management companies internationally which are exclusively working on these, and I'm sure they must be getting some good results, The other reason for me is that having spent nearly 20 plus years in security industry, I feel like coming here and interacting with everyone, which has given me a lot of, recognition and opportunity, and one has been involved in it, The other thing was that I wanted to listen to Manjeet Rajan sir, a police officer, an army officer, and where he has built the large empire, So this is really exceptional, so. And many of you are doing in your field extremely well. And for that, congratulations to all of you. So let me go into the crowd management aspect, which I've been mentioning, okay. First of all, wherever we go in any event, if we are fearful that anything can go wrong, may it be Kumbh Mela, may it be anywhere, let me give me my example. I wanted to go in this Kumbh Mela. I came back halfway. because there was 9 kilometers traffic jam. Thereafter, I went to Ujjain. Ujjain, again, I came back because on the first day, but second day I did go. At 4 o'clock in the morning, there is a puja, and they make you wait 3 hours, make you sit down on a floor without doing anything and without any reason. So such religious places as well, and other events, may it be games, may it be cinemas, may it be sports, we need a proper crowd management architecture which can help us improve the things. And I'm sure if somebody approaches the government, may it be UP, starting with UP, etc., not that our police officers are not doing great job, but everybody they are great in crowd control and they can improve upon in crowd management, is a critical aspect of managing large-scale events, I would say more than 40,000, 50,000 people, ensuring the safety and security of attendees, There is one temple here in near Delhi where 100,000 people go every day, and their management of crowd or the devotees is extremely well, They call it some Guruji ka temple. If you go there, they're all volunteers, 100,000 people on an average a day, and smooth. Those who have been there will experience it and will agree with me, It will help in, of course, deaths. People get hurt. If we can prevent accidents, manage emergencies, and facilitate smooth evacuation, if necessary, if it is planned very well, So. People go to the various entertainment places where they want to enjoy without worrying about their safety, Suddenly the crowd will come, somebody will become emotional and religious thoughts will come or anything wrong happens. People want to be enjoying. They have paid money. They have spent their time. Poorly managed crowd can be disasters. We all know it. People can be injured. Lives can be lost. Effective crowd management helps to ensure safety of those at an event, from the guest of the staff and the participants, I know many of your companies are managing it. There are a lot of Pragati Maidan events take place, and a lot of crowds come there, and they are being managed very, very well. But still, as a subject, as a specialized subject, if the training is imparted and a proper architecture is created for that, I'm sure even people can enjoy much more, If we can anticipate the kind of crowd, is a casual crowd, happen to be in the same place, let's say, at the same time, little less in common except that they are physically meeting at one place. For example, gathering of people who are waiting to cross the street at a busy intersection in a large city, sometime 100, 200, 500 people because of the traffic, I would categorize them as a casual crowd, Conventional crowd, a collection of people who gather for a specific purpose. People attending a movie, a play, a concert, or a lecture. Behavior is very conventional. Expressive crowd, shout. A collection of people who gather primarily to be excited and to express one or more emotions. Cricket matches could be there, People at a religious gathering, political rally, and sports events, In expressive crowds, the audience wants to be a member of the crowd, participate in a crowd behavior to scream, shout, cheer. Acting crowd, terminologies could be any, This crowd goes one step beyond an expressive crowd by behaving in a violent or a destructive behavior. Intensely emotional crowd. We all know how many people, these are all official figures, and how many have been hurt, how many were hospitalized, how many were incapacitated. I'm not mentioning of those numbers. We all in India keep seeing everyday TV channels, and we find that there are uh, lapses, happening, and perhaps these could be avoided. The answer could be, if not totally avoided, could be reduced. Kumbh Mela 2025, official figures 30. If you go on a YouTube, it will say 300 plus, plus, plus. These are some of the reported ones, some we know of it, but there are others where 1 or 2 deaths takes place, nobody points it out and nobody mentions it. Well, the first thing in crowd management is security. Deploy trained and skilled security staff, therefore possibly a vertical, if not completely a company on crowd management. As internationally, you would Google it and you will find 7 to 8 very large companies with large turnovers. And that is why CSC for the last 25 years, or even more than that, have been managing all the Olympics and the FIFA Cups. Then there is a venue management, all operations, and figures out any possible choke points. One of the reasons I again come back to Kumbh Mela, which was hardly mentioned and will not get mentioned, is the VIP movements. So many VIPs that then you break, and the police personnel, they start giving attention, or the organizers start giving attention to them, breaking all the procedures or whatever has been defined them to operate. Second was, again on Kumbh Mela, density. If people only can be accommodated, let's say 2 lakhs in a particular area, if you put 5 lakhs, it's bound to happen, so. Third is flow, how the people are moving from one place to another, Fourth is exit and entry points. Fifth is in terms of where are the toilets and the people, how can they reach there, and how much time it takes place, We can go on. These are very common sense points. Which spectator services, exemplary guest services, usherers, very important for a large events, crowd managers, and quick response team, In terms of the fire facilities, fire brigades, medical facilities where they are located, parking place to the seating arrangement, that takes very important. And then nowadays, use of latest technology for crowd surveillance, drones, facial recognition, and AI integration. A lot of people here are expert in this field, and I know that there is a session on AI as well, Command and control center, which keeps an eye on everything in terms of the mob behavior. Okay, pre-event planning is for anything, for any subject. And when 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, and a big event takes place, the pre-event planning is very important, and I'll go into the elements of that. Communication and signages. Wrong signages can create a problem, Instead of going to right, if you put a signage left or it gets upside down, there is a problem, Continuous communication with large number of people, over 100,000, 200,000, is absolutely must, from which route, which place, where they should move, if there is anything happens, Crowd flow management is very, very important. Entry, exit, going to your seat, where to sit there. Staff training, deployment, emergency preparedness. If anything goes wrong, what we got to do in it. In any case, we as security professional, we always, when we take on any assignment, any building, or we do the risk assessment or a threat analysis for that, how many guards, how many, the supervisors, and how many managers, and what kind of equipments are required, So understanding event environment, where it is taking place, is that multi-regional religious people are there, mandir, masjid, and many other things can be the reason. Potential risks, possibly. Assessing threat levels. There is a threat, but what is the level of that threat, So. And if anything goes wrong, what is the mitigation plan, that time? And collaborating with the stakeholders, training and preparedness and continuous and evaluation, these are our basic what we learn in our security operations, AI surveillance system, that is again a subject which is coming up by an expert in the afternoon. Improved object recognition tracking, I will quickly go through, real-time analysis and proactive monitoring. Facial recognition, predictive analytics, and anomaly detection. AI security solutions for identifying the kind of crowd, any misbehavior anywhere happening, and people being sent there to manage that, Fire, smoke detection, efficient traffic management, and moreover, elderly care monitoring. In such kind of religious events, a lot of elderly people go there, and at times, if not taken care, with our well-preparedness, it can be a difficult situation for them, This is all AI related, how we can manage our events. This is again, same I am repeating, tragic stampedes, how many people went to hospitals? Only they went for a purpose, they went for a religious. Another important area is in terms of when we have very large crowd, information dissemination is very important, At the airport, if your gate is changed, how people start running at the moment, at times you can miss the flight if you didn't listen to the information coming, announcement being made, so, okay. You keep sitting in a lounge, information doesn't come, and you could have missed the flight, And in that time, at the last moment, people start running, rushing, Same is true anywhere. If the information is not properly given that this gate is closed, or there is a fire in this particular gate, or some incident has taken place in XYZ area, then it becomes difficult, So. Multiple languages. Sometimes people don't understand the language, So. Do's and don'ts and entry points to educate visitors on safety measures, Well, what kind of people would be required? That I will not go through it. It was prepared, and we all are very knowledgeable in this field. All I would just read out the kind of people would be required, and then animation film. Crowd marshals and crowd supervisors, crowd officer, event coordinator, event managers. Okay, then.
Something that's often overlooked is that the most important part of any event or celebration in the world are the people who come to witness it. This makes effective crowd management a very important part of any successful event. With efficient and optimized processes that have put us on top in the crowd management and event security industry. Our crowd management team comprises guards, traffic marshals, ticket takers, security, and ushers, along with event supervisors, officers, and managers. Before the beginning of an event, the event manager takes the briefing of the staff, covering the roles and responsibility of everyone present, along with important protocols to be followed in case of emergencies. To ensure smooth execution of the event, our work begins from the moment a car enters the venue. A guard checks the color-coded ticket at the gate, where the color tells him about the parking and seating arrangement. The flip side of the ticket has the exit route plan in case of an emergency. The car is then directed toward the designated parking area with the help of traffic marshals and proper signages for the guest's convenience. As the guest moves to the main entry gate, the ticket taker scans the ticket and has them walk through the DFMD while putting their bags through the X-ray scanner. In the incident of possession of unwanted or objectionable material, the matter is reported to the command center and appropriate action is taken. Once an individual has been frisked by the security staff, they are escorted to their seats by the ushers. Each block of the seating area has designated event supervisors and event officers for the safety and convenience of the guests. Each block also has 2 to 3 housekeeping members for cleanliness and sanitation. Signages for facilities like public convenience, refreshment area, and guest services are properly displayed. Any lost item can be reported at the guest service center. To make the event more accessible and inclusive, necessary arrangements like ramps are made for wheelchair users and people with mobility problems. Apart from human resource, we believe that technology plays a very important role in surveillance during an event. All entry and exit points and the seating area are under CCTV surveillance. Drones are deployed for better surveillance of crowds and to detect any signs of trouble. They relay real-time information to the officers and managers at the command center who are ready to liaison with external agencies like security, fire, and medical in case of any emergency. For extreme emergencies, an ambulance with a wheelchair, stretcher, basic first aid, and paramedical staff are always on standby, along with PCR fans, firefighters, and fire tender. Despite the well-preparedness, an emergency is the last thing that we want, which is why at the time of the receipt of the venue itself, identification and clearance of all the exit paths is done by us. It takes a lot of hard work to put together a successful event and deliver the best experience to the audience. But the smiles on the faces of the crowd and our client make it all worth it. Time is a critical factor in the execution of any event, and our well-planned process ensures that approximate time from the main entry gate to the seating area is 4 minutes. Lastly, a contingency plan for all eventualities and worst-case scenarios is always in.
Okay, thank you so much. And